Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 193 of Tech It Out. Hope you're having a great day so far on this last weekend of April, wherever you're tuning into the program in the country. I also hope you're remaining safe and healthy. And hey, it's my job to keep you informed about the latest in tech, which is exactly what we're going to do this hour. We do have a stellar Tech It Out show planned for you. We're going to kick things off in a moment with the inventor of a generator that you connect to your car to power your home in the event of an outage. We're going to check in with Circle about protecting your kids in the digital age on all their devices. And LG will stop by to tell us about its new laser projector that doesn't just have 4K resolution, which is 4 times the detail of a full HD picture, but it also creates an image 5 times bigger than a 60-inch TV. All of this and more on a brand new Tech It Out, powered by Asus, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But let's officially kick off this week's show with our first interview. You already own 75% of a backup generator sitting right there on your driveway. It says on the website for CarGenerator, a solution that turns your car into a generator to power your essentials for up to 70 hours in the event of an outage or if you're camping, and other applications as well. Joining us to chat about CarGenerator is its founder and CEO, Jonathan Schloe. Hey, Jonathan, good to chat with you.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me here.
Sure. Now, before we talk about CarGenerator, the product, why would you suggest we own a generator of some kind? Is it primarily as a backup solution?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, that's an easy one. So if I go take my dog for a walk or walk around, I look up and I see poles and wires dangling in the air. So that, I don't know who created that system, but definitely it's at risk for going out easily. So versus, my cousins live in Germany and all of their wires are underground. So I think if you live in a country that everything, all the power is based in the air, you're quite susceptible to that. It's also because we love to get outdoors. We love cottages and camping, RVing off grid, those kinds of things. So for those two reasons, we do need backup power and portable power.
Got it. Okay. So it is primarily for backup, but recreationally as well. If you want power and you're off the grid, you're not at home, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can also leverage your car, as we're going to learn, or another kind of generator that can generate power for all the things that we need. In the 21st century, there's a lot of our gadgets that we rely on. So with that in mind, then, Jonathan, tell us about CarGenerator and what makes your product unique.
Sure. Well, how I kind of came up with this in the beginning was, I don't know if you remember the last time the power went out at your house, but it's really weird what you miss the most. You walk around in your house and, by habit, you flip the switches and nothing happens. And then you open the fridge and the light doesn't come on and everything feels weird. Even things like you go to open your garage door and it doesn't work. So all these things, it starts getting cold after just half an hour, especially in the wintertime. So how I came up with this is I ran a tech company for 20 years. I sold it and we bought a travel trailer, an Airstream. And, it actually has 5 huge solar panels on the roof. It's got 520, half a kilowatt of power on the roof. But a lot of times that is not even enough. So I sat there and I thought, am I going to buy a smelly gas generator, 100-pound beast to drag around with me so I can, go camp in the great outdoors? And I thought, I've got an amazing motor right here in my car. And a modern inverter generator, as they're called, is really 4 things. It's a gas tank, motor, an alternator, and an inverter. And so really I just came up with the last part of it, which is the inverter part, but in a weatherproof package to make it all work. So that's how CarGenerator was invented.
Okay, so it leverages your car to take care of 3/4 or so of the technology, and then what we're buying, when you buy the CarGenerator product, it fills in the blanks. And we'll dive in a little bit deeper for those geeks out there who like that kind of stuff. Words like inverter and wave unit and all that. And how did you come up with this idea? And also, I know you were on Dragon's Den, which is, for our listeners who aren't familiar with that show, it's where you're pitching your idea. How did that go for you? And again, what was sort of the genesis of the idea of CarGenerator?
Sure. So Dragon's Den was amazing. That aired October 2018. If you Google for CarGenerator, you'll see that as well. And we landed a $100,000 deal on the air with two dragons. Right. They saw the concept and they got it right away. And we've grown 10x since then. It's just gone crazy because people love the concept. It's interesting. Some people there's two kinds of people. In the generator kind, there's the folks that say, a minute after the power goes out, I want this thing to start up automatically in my backyard, and I want to be able to, bake a cake and run the laundry, run my hot tub, and keep everything on. That's one kind of person, and they'll pay $8,000 to $10,000 to have a full whole house generator, and that's great. But there's a lot of other folks who just say, you know what, if I could just keep my gas or oil furnace running, and the whole house would stay warm, and I can run a couple of lights and maybe keep my fridge running in the summertime, I'm happy. And that's really what we did. So we used this. We had a really bad ice storm before Christmas, and we used this to keep our whole house warm, running our gas furnace. And we've got radiant floor heating. We've got the hot water rads in our house. Mm-hmm. And we used that to keep our whole house warm and to run a couple of lights and computers in the fridge. And for 3.5 days, almost 80 hours straight. Oh, wow. And when the power came on, we'd used about a half a tank of gas. So.
Oh, that's it. Just a half a tank. But
yep.
Yeah, okay. And so I was going to ask you about how much power it can really generate. So for example, in our home, we've made a few investments over the years to reduce the amount of power we consume. Pretty big family. We're using about 100 kilowatts of power per day. Or would that be too much for something like this?
So one of the simple suggestions I say to people is because what happens often is people think about backup power and they call an electrician, and the electrician comes in and they add up your fridge and your stove and your hot tub and your walk-in wine cellar and all the different things, and they say, oh, you need this 13 kilowatt generator on your front lawn. But Ian, you can do that if you want. But on the other hand, if you shut everything off, there's a very simple exercise that anyone can do. So if you turn everything off in your house just to a test for an hour, go outside and look at your hydrometer and write down or take a picture of the number on your hydrometer or your electric meter. Mm-hmm. And then shut everything off, like everything. You don't need no baseboard heaters, nothing, and just run for an hour. Just leave your furnace on in your fridge, and then go out and look at the number. If the number moved by just one, then you've used essentially just 1,000 watts for that hour. If it moved by 2, then you've used 2,000 watts for that hour. It's a really good exercise to think about how much do you need, at the basic. So it's a different way of looking at it. And the trade-off is, of course, convenience and simplicity and expense and all that. So, yeah.
Very cool. We are chatting with Jonathan Schlow. He is the founder and CEO of a company and product called CarGenerator. Now, I did promise for those geeks out there, whether they're gearheads or techies, tell us maybe a bit more about how it works. So this is essentially an inverter and a wave unit. And how easy is it or difficult to set up to your vehicle?
Sure. So first of all, how easy is it to set up? It truly just takes a minute to connect it. You start your car, and you have backup power for days, for 50 to 70 hours, even longer on diesel. It works on gas, diesel, hybrid, and pure electric. So really the way that we're going with cars also, with vehicles, this is the generator of the future, because more cars are going hybrid and electric. And, there's a strong component of people out there who, they have a couple of electric cars or hybrid cars, and no way that they want to have a 100-pound gas generator and store a bunch of smelly gas cans, to deal with a power outage when they've got 60 to 80,000 watts of power sitting right there in their electric car in the driveway.
But how do you connect it exactly? Sorry.
Yeah. So basically what you do is you connect it to the jump start terminals in the car. So typically that will be the battery, or there'll be designated jump start. Some cases, like we've got a European car and our battery's under the seat. So you don't connect it there. You always connect it. It's usually in the engine compartment, and that's where you connect it. It's the jump start point.
So it's just like if your car died on the side of the road and you have the red and black little prongs that you connect to it, right? That's basically the same idea.
That's it. And then what it is inside, it's a pure sine wave smart inverter. For the techies in the room, it's less than 3% THD, which is total harmonic distortion, which is very, very clean power.
Just rolls off your tongue, eh? Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because, some people say, dude, this is just an inverter. I can buy one at the corner store for $50. Well, maybe not $50, but the whole point is that that's what's called a modified sine wave inverter, and that will fry your furnace board and your fridge motors and things like that. This is very clean power. You can run. People use this for medical things like oxygen machines, CPAP machines, all those kinds of things. So at its core, it's an inverter. But what we've done is we put it in a fully weatherproof package. So one of the challenges is anyone can hook up an inverter, but what happens when it's raining and snowing and icing and you've got no place to put it? You can't put that inverter in the engine compartment. It's
and that's probably when you'd want to use this unit, right? When there is adverse weather. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost always it is. So, and it's everything all together. It's got custom engineered heat-proof cables that are engineered to handle continuous power in the engine compartment, and it's engineered that it can work outside. One of the most dangerous things with gas generators, and people die from the most, is CO2. People get a gas generator and they put it in their garage because it's not weatherproof. And then there's health risks and deaths and all kinds of things from that. So CarGenerator is designed to be run completely outside.
We're going to continue chatting with Jonathan Schlew from CarGenerator when we return. Stick with us on Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We'll continue learning about the CarGenerator in a moment. But first, this show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS. For those in search of incredible, ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, as well as monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. We're chatting with Jonathan Schlew from CarGenerator. This is an invention that can use your car to power your home in the event of an outage, or if you need it when you're in a remote area, such as camping. But before the break, Jonathan, you were saying how this is weatherproof and you should not be running this in your garage. And that's a common mistake with other generators. But what if your vehicle is in a garage? Are you recommending people take their car outside to use this?
Yeah, always.
Okay.
Yeah, you always want to use it outside. There's pretty specific rules that you're not allowed. Like some people start their car and then drive it away 5 minutes later. That's one thing. But if you're running it for several hours or days or whatever, you certainly don't want to run that inside your garage.
Yeah, I meant, though, with the garage door open.
No, even then. And
I was going to ask you about damaging the vehicle. Any concerns there?
That's a really great question. No, you would not damage your vehicle. When you get a CarGenerator, we include a very detailed 21-page instruction manual that shows you how to use it and what to do. One of the elephants in the room that some people always get stuck on is, wow, would you leave your car engine running? And
that was my next question. Exactly. The idling, it's an environmental issue, right?
You know what? And it sounds crazy, but it's actually very clever for many reasons. When the power is off, the only reliable way to get power is using a motor. Like solar's not reliable, batteries are very finite and limited. Even if you get a Tesla Powerwall, that costs you $12,000 or whatever, and then you have it, but then someone leaves, baseboard heater on in the basement, and you just sucked up, 2 days worth of power in a couple hours. Mm-hmm. So if you have to use a motor anyways, why not use the really good one you already have? A traditional gas generator is basically an unfiltered motor, just like a gas lawnmower or a snowblower. Gas generators actually are very loud and they're very smelly and they're very environmentally poor. So the difference is that your car, even the most basic car, has thousands of dollars of emissions control on it already built in. So whereas pretty much none of the gas generators will go to that expense to put, certainly if you're buying a gas generator for a couple $100, they're not going to put any emissions controls on it whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So it's much more friendly. And another common misperception or thing that people don't understand or don't know is that the gas use between a portable generator versus running your car, it's actually about the same. So running a portable generator, surprisingly, you can look on our websites under the FAQ section, running a portable gas generator, 1,000 or 2,000 watts. We give some examples there, versus idling a typical modern gas engine is about the same. So it's about the same in terms of fuel consumption. I actually did an experiment. We've got a diesel SUV, and I actually put you can buy a little mechanics. It's a scanner. It's an OBD scanner that you can plug in, and you can actually see it. That's really cool. Like people that, if you're a techie, do this. Go out and get yourself an OBD scanner and plug it in and look at it. It'll show you the fuel rate, and let your car idle. And you'll see I actually did this, and I plugged a 1,500 watt car generator in and produced 1,500 watts of power. And I could see it was showing it was 0.95, so less than a liter per hour. So that's like less than a quarter gallon per hour to do that. So I've got a 100 liter diesel tank. So as you can probably guess, I've got easily 80 to 100 hours if I really needed it that way. So,
okay, awesome. So, yeah. All right. So as we wrap up, Jonathan, thanks for sharing that, by the way, because I think that was one of my main concerns was the idling. So I'm glad you cleared the air on that. Pardon the pun.
Sure.
Let's talk about the options. So is it just one product called CarGenerator? Is there more than one model? How much are we talking about?
Sure. So CarGenerator is the product. It's CarGenerator.com. And our main unit that's 95% of our business is our all-weather unit. So that's the one you can get that, pull it out, hook it up in less than a minute, and you've got power. And it's weatherproof. You can use it in the rain, ice, whatever. We also sell, if you're really DIY, do-it-yourself enthusiast, you can buy just our bare inverter. So you can buy that. That's $295. We have a dry unit that has this kind of the same, but it's got the right booster cables and things on it, and that's $460. And then our all-weather unit is $795. Now, that we typically have an extra bonus sale that includes $180 in accessories with everything you need to get started. So, people get a generator, but then they think, how do I plug this into my furnace? How do I make it run my furnace? And how do I do this and that? So in that box, we really have everything that you need to get started. Our $180 accessory kit is a furnace plug kit. So if you don't already have a plug on your furnace, it'll give you what you need to do that. An AC power watt meter, so you can see how much power is being used. A 3-year extended warranty and free shipping. So yeah, that's our most popular one is that all-weather unit, and that's what most people are buying. So.
I can see the value proposition because I know when we moved into this house, we were approached by some neighbors who were collectively going in on some generators and getting a group discount, and it was still $8,000 or $9,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely a lot more of an affordable option. And as you said, you already have 75% of the solution sitting on your driveway, so why not? Again, CarGenerator.com. We've been chatting with Jonathan Schlow. I wish you continued success. Thanks so much for your time, Jonathan. I hope we chat again soon.
You bet. Thanks very much, Mark.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a product called Circle, designed to protect your family when they spend time online. It child-proofs the internet, if you will, on all their devices. So we're going to learn how that works when we return. Again, the product is called Circle. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out on the Radio American Network.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. How's this for irony? While it's the parents' obligation to protect our children, kids tend to know more about tech than mom and dad, including how to navigate online. Understandably, many parents feel helpless because of this digital divide. But there are some easy-to-use yet powerful tools that can help protect the ones you love. Joining us to talk about one solution called Circle is Anne Bryan, CEO of Circle Media Labs. Welcome to the show, Anne. Good to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark. We understand exactly what parents are going through, and so proud that Circle can partner with parents to help them win back some of that control and expertise that they need to manage their families.
Okay, great. So before we talk about Circle and Circle Home Plus, which is, I think, your latest model, talk to us about what online risks are out there today for kids.
I think the biggest thing for parents and everyone to understand is that the internet was built for adults and used to its fullest extent by people of all ages. Mm-hmm. So if parents can access adult content, gambling sites, the dark web, wherever it is that parents think, should I really be there? Kids can be there too. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the internet is really designed to incentivize people to go to those places, whether misinformation or dangerous social media activity. All those things can happen with anonymity, and kids are there.
Right. And speaking of social media, I would say that's probably the biggest change from, say, 10 years ago when social media was in its infancy. We were worried about what websites kids were accessing, or maybe to a lesser extent, some chat rooms and things like that. But now with social, it's not just websites that are a concern among many parents. It's who they're interacting with on social platforms, what they're sharing, whether it's words or photos or videos. Is that valid?
All of those things are true. And in addition, what we're seeing is this skewed view of reality that is hard for kids, and especially in their formative years, to disassociate from, so that they're facing in very real time things that, and leaving them online for everyone to see for many years afterwards. I'm old enough that my formative years were not documented online, and I'm grateful for that, as I suspect you might be.
That is true.
And our children do not have that same luxury.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then there's that FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So they're always online, and then setting unrealistic expectations among these kids, and pressure and cyberbullying and sexting. And it all is really overwhelming, and for many parents, understandably, especially if they don't consider themselves tech savvy. Like I said in my introduction, and they just feel so lost and helpless. So with that in mind, I think that's a good segue to now learn about Circle. Please tell us about this solution.
So Circle is really an opportunity and a solution for parents so that they can manage and understand where their kids are online and be able to set limits on where and when they can go, so that they can right size the online access for their own families. This is a solution that can manage devices wherever they go, as well as everything that's connected to their home Wi-Fi. It's very comprehensive, and it's really tailored so that it can meet the needs of an individual child within every family.
All right, because it isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. You may have a 12-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl, and the same approach for both may not make sense. So that's interesting. So it's almost like having a family account that the parents would be in charge of, and then being able to tailor the kinds of safeguards in place that you want per child, as you're saying. So Circle, unlike software that I've been writing about for years, like Net Nanny and things like that, Circle is actually hardware that connects to your home network. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
So there is a hardware component that manages your home Wi-Fi network, and that makes it so that everything that's on your Wi-Fi can be managed by Circle. So whether that's your smart TV or your game system or the laptops or the kids' phones, it can manage every device that's on your home Wi-Fi. We also are a software-only solution, so that, I have a teenager, his main devices are his phone and his Chromebook that he has for school. Those can be managed with just our software solution. But if I also want to manage our smart TV and our gaming system, then I would want the complete Wi-Fi solution to manage everything that access, as well as his friends when they come over to my house.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Anne. I see sort of a pro and a con to a hardware-based approach. And I know you said there's software also. But the advantage to hardware, where you plug in this small device into the router or the modem, is that you don't have to individually install software on all the different devices that the kids may be using. And it could be many. It's kind of like blankets the entire ecosystem, if you will, because it's on the Wi-Fi level. But the con, or the downside, and again, correct me if I'm wrong here, is that if they're on cellular, not Wi-Fi, whether they leave the home or they turn off Wi-Fi at home and they use their cell phone connection on their, say, phone or iPad to access inappropriate websites or to conduct other things that parents might not like, that it would circumvent the Circle approach.
So the Wi-Fi solution is absolutely easy to install, and Circle is the best of both worlds because it includes both the Wi-Fi solution and the mobile solution, so that For devices that you expect to be used on a 4G network, you can also install that software component to manage the device everywhere you go. So it is really the best of everything.
All right, so thanks for the clarification. So for those devices that can operate off the Wi-Fi network, like a phone, then it would make sense to install the software as well.
That's correct.
Okay, great. We are chatting with Ann Bryan, CEO of Circle Media Labs. We're talking about protecting your kids when they spend time online, which is probably a lot. And Circle is the name of this product, Circle Home Plus, second generation. It's a smart parental control solution for Wi-Fi devices as well as ones connected to a cellular network. So with that in mind, Ann, maybe you can walk us through what the setup is like, even if parents are not so tech savvy, and then what they can actually filter, monitor, block, and so on.
Sure thing. When you start with the Circle solution, if you start with the hardware device, you're going to always start in the App Store, and then the setup will walk you through what it is that you need to do. It's basically, connect a few cables, and really what we tell people is it's as complicated as your network. So we have customers who have lots of extenders or a very complicated network, and for them, network management is a little bit harder, and installing Circle will take some thought. It absolutely is possible and the right solution for you. If you have a simple network, it's going to be plug it in, turn it on. Circle will detect which devices are available on your network, and you can get managing right away. If you are interested in only the software solution, the setup is mostly the same. You're going to start in the App Store, download that app, and identify which devices you want to manage.
We'll continue learning about Circle when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. We're chatting with Ann Bryan, CEO of Circle Media Labs. We're learning about a product called Circle. It's a device that helps protect your family from all the ills of the internet, if you will, all the threats that exist online, so you can better protect your kids on all their devices. Now, Ann, before the break, we learned about the hardware version, and then there's a software-only version. What are the first steps once you get it going?
Yeah, one of the things parents like to do when they first get set up is to identify what sites need to be filtered. And so they're going to identify, we have some preset things, but they'll also want to make sure, how much do you want to be on certain social media platforms, but not all of them? Do you want to allow games? Which kinds? Do you want to enable a teen to access dating sites or not? Those are the kind of things that you can filter. We provide very detailed information about where you're spending your time online, so you can see what usage looks like, how much. We're also providing information about when you are accessing things online, which can help with things like maybe setting a bedtime. Is it okay or desirable for people to be up at 1 or 2 in the morning using online internet, or do you want to have a bedtime? And when should that start and stop? In addition, we can set time limits so that maybe you say, games are fine, but only for 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day, depending on the age of the child. And so you're going to be able to set that time limit. There might be days when you want to be able to extend that time limit, or your bedtime should be a little bit later because it's a school holiday. And so we have a feature called Rewards, where you can, just for today, change that setting and allow the child to use extra time than what was previously decided. Many parents like something that we call a zero time limit, which means that it's by reward only. So you can do games maybe, but only after you've finished your chores, and the parent is going to be able to enable that reward once they've had that conversation with their child to make sure that they're using the internet the way that it would like to be used in their home. With so many kids spending a lot of their time now learning online, we have a new feature called Focus Time, which allows you to use the internet for some things, but not all things during predefined times of day. So you might say, school's happening at my house between 8 and 2, and so online games should not be allowed during that time at all, so that they could, but everything that's required for their schoolwork is allowed. So I'm going to let Zoom happen and Google Classroom during that time. And so we really try to make the system support families in the ways that they need in order to encourage the kind of online behavior and habits that they are looking to have in their home.
When it comes to filtering or blocking certain websites, if you don't know exactly the website, like, I don't know, Pornhub.com, that's like a no-brainer. But can you filter out adult websites and your software recognizes that it's an adult site just by keywords or images? Is that possible instead of having to know exactly what websites to block? Because I would think that there are new ones popping up every day.
Yeah, we try to make this as easy for families as possible. So we have categories, adult content or, something like pornography would be in a category for itself that you could just manage. And then we keep track of what all those sites are.
Now, let's say you allow your children to be on social media. You say, okay, I'm okay with TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat, but can you dive deeper and say, I'm okay with them using these, but I don't want them sharing their information? Or is there any way to control it within each app or social media platform?
If use is permitted, then Circle does not interfere or manage use within that app itself.
Okay. So that's where good old parenting comes in, where you got to sit down with your kids and remind them about oversharing and things like that.
It is very important for families to have the conversations about what safe online behavior looks like. Circle is a tool that can help you with that job, but ultimately every part of this really comes down to the parent and their relationship with their child and what it is that they're looking for their child.
I remember when my twins were in grade 6, my daughter's friend was chatting with who she thought was a same age boy on social media. And he agreed to meet after school one day. And who showed up was a 40-something-year-old man. And needless to say, the police got involved and he took off. And it was traumatizing for my daughter, even though it was a friend of hers who trusted someone that she thought was also a 13-year-old boy or what have you, or 12-year-old boy. So just to be clear, again, if Circle allows the child to be on a social platform, what they say or do within that platform is not tracked or monitored by Circle. This is where those even awkward conversations come in with your children.
That's correct.
And then what is the cost for Circle? I called the product Circle Home Plus. Please let me know if it's a different name or what the actual product is and what and how the costs are broken out, because I believe there's a subscription element to it as well.
So to get started with Circle Home Plus, the Wi-Fi solution, you can go over to meetcircle.com today. And to purchase that, it's $129. That includes a year's subscription to every Circle feature. If you want to get started at a lower price point, you can buy the same device with a 3-month subscription for $69. And we also sell a lifetime package, which will be $349.
Okay.
If you want to just start with the app, that's $9.99 a month or $89 for an annual subscription.
And that's for both iOS and Android?
That's correct.
Okay. And thank you so much for your time. It's great chatting with you. Thanks again. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to chat with LG about its new 4K laser projector that can beam an image 5 times bigger than a 60-inch TV. And it's designed for both the indoors and the outdoors. So stick with us. You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by Asus for those in search of incredible. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
If you're seriously into movies, as I am, perhaps you've attempted to replicate that movie theater experience in your home. If that's the case, maybe you've considered a projector. Well, we're now going to learn about the LG HU810 Cinebeam 4K laser projector and what it brings to the party. Joining us on the line to chat is Kyla Francis, Brand Manager of Business Solutions at LG. Welcome back to the show, Kyla. How have you been holding up?
I've been good, thank you. How about you?
I'm well, thank you. It's great to have you back on the show, by the way. and talking about something that I've been chatting about for years, a movie theater projector opposed to a TV to really replicate that cinema experience. And we are spending a lot more time at home. So with that in mind, tell us about the LG Cinebeam 4K laser projector and how it creates that movie-like experience.
Yes, now with our LG Cinebeam line of projectors, we can create one-of-a-kind immersive viewing experiences right in our home or our backyard. So LG has a range of projectors. There's basically something for everyone, from an ultra-portable 1-pound handheld model to our new ultra-premium Cinebeam HU810. It's a 4K laser smart home projector for the ultimate home theater enthusiast.
All right. So you have solutions for the outside, as you said, which is great for summer nights. And as the weather warms, maybe the kids and or the neighbors together, and you can beam a Disney movie or what have you against the side of your home, or maybe you've invested in a screen, which is great. And then there are the ones that are typically mounted or placed inside the home, maybe in a basement. And this is something that stays in one place. So there are a couple of options. And the HU810 is the one that I mentioned off the top. What are some of your favorite features of that one? And that's like a top-of-the-line stationary projector, right?
Yes, well, it's our ultra premium projector. It's a brand new one. It can produce up to a 300-inch display, so making it easy to elevate your movie viewing experience and recreate that cinema experience almost anywhere. So you can take it from room to room. It's pretty easy to set up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it can basically go inside, and you can take it outside as well.
All right, wow, 300 inches. So that's 5 times the size of a 60-inch TV. Just let's put that into perspective here. So really great for movies as well as sports. We use our projector for sports as well. So thanks for clarifying that you can bring this from room to room. I didn't know if this is something that you would mount to a ceiling, or sometimes with those short throw projectors, you put it on the ground.
Yeah, well, this one, you can put it on the ground, but it can also go on a table. It's not the long one. It's not a big, heavy projector that, will prevent you from moving it from room to room.
Okay, got it. And I know that some projectors can be a little tricky to set up. What's the installation like for the LG Cinebeam 4K laser projector?
Installation is actually really easy. It can be installed virtually anywhere, and you can set the screen to the exact size and location that you want it to be. It's as simple as plug and play. It also has the advanced wireless connection. It connects to AirPlay. It's Bluetooth compatible, and users can screen share for added ease and convenience.
All right. To clarify, you can play something off your mobile device like a phone or a tablet and cast it to the projector. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And because it's laser, it's not a bulb that could burn out.
Yes. And what I love about this projector is the advanced tech built in, such as the adaptive contrast feature. This analyzes every frame in a movie or show and resets the optimal black level. So it actually has a 2 million to 1 contrast ratio black level for better picture depth.
And what's the brightness like? I know it's often measured in lumens. Is it something that you would need only in a super dark environment?
No, so it actually has the brightness optimizer, so you can change it to a light viewing room or a dark viewing room. So you can use it for both.
I know that's one of the challenges. Some of my friends, they've wanted to install a theater, but they have too much ambient light in the room that they want to put it in. So I think laser can do a good job there. We're chatting with Kyla Francis, brand manager of business solutions at LG, and we're learning about their laser projector family. Specifically, the top of the line HU810 is the model number. The Cinebeam is the brand. 4K laser projector. So again, 4 times the resolution of HD. So about 8 million little dots or pixels that make up the image instead of 2 million with full HD. So giving you a lot more detail. And as we heard from Kyla, more contrast and incredible brightness as well. For audio, does it have any speakers built in, which I can see the appeal of that outside, but inside you can obviously connect your external speakers too, correct?
Yes, it does. It has 2 5-watt stereo speakers, and if you're at home, you can always connect it to your own speakers, and it also supports Dolby Atmos.
Okay, great. All right, so Kyla, how much does the LG Cinebeam 4K laser projector cost, and what's the best website to learn more?
Yeah, the suggested retail price is around $29.99, and you can visit lg.com for more information and where to buy.
Okay. And you mentioned you also have other projectors that start in the hundreds as well, but this is sort of the top of the line model.
Yes.
And I love the video that's at that website as well, by the way, so you can see the HU810 in action. Great stuff. Kyla, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me again, Mark. I always enjoy having a conversation with you.
Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. It is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its award-winning laptops such as the ZenBook and VivoBook family. Check it out at asus.com. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Bye-bye for now.